Hey everyone, how are you all doing? Today I'm going to be taking a look at the Marvel Legends Iron Man retro wave, kind of the 90s, animated tie-in wave type thing, She-Hulk. The sensational She-Hulk. The wonderful She-Hulk. The best freaking She-Hulk that's ever been made. This figure is just absolutely mind-blowingly wonderful. I absolutely love it. It's not without its faults, of course. Everything has its downfalls, but God, this is just the closest that we've gotten to perfection. And oh man, I cannot wait for them to reuse this She-Hulk for the Fantastic Four look for her, for the more complete, I don't want to say onesie, but you know what I'm talking about, like where it's like most of her torso is covered instead of like the tank top kind of look. They could turn this into a modern She-Hulk as well. It would take, I love the look of She-Hulk through the years and everything, but this head sculpt especially, this is Jen. This is 100% Jen. And without further ado, let's get into it. So taking a look at what she comes with, as you can currently see on her, she has a pair of fists, which look really nice. They got hand muscles and tendons and everything in it, which look really good. You can see the fingernail up on the one hand right here. But these look good. They're just standard, fists for She-Hulk. And then she also comes with a pair of gripping / open hands, whatever you want to call them. These look amazing. I love the color that these are cast in. The gamma green, as I've heard people refer to it as. I want a Hulk in this color so bad. The Hulks we have are good, but man, a Hulk in this color would just be absolutely amazing. Or, incredible. And then for the coolest accessory that we've had in a very long time, here is this rifle that is being broken in half, which this, goes with the open hands, so it looks like Jen can, grab it and just break it in half. But it also would be really cool to maybe get like a couple of these and have some like G.I. Joes or something like that have these, and have Magneto, just casually throw in his hand, and then boom, all the guns just split and break. That would be really cool for some ACBA. So if anyone ends up doing that, tag me, because you heard it here first. Now let's go ahead and pull Jen in and take a closer look at the head sculpt. This is, without question, the most beautiful head sculpt that Hasbro's ever given us. I mean, look at this. This is Jennifer Walters. This is 100% She-Hulk, 110% She-Hulk. The smile that she has, the way it's printed on here, the hair with the green highlights in it is just gorgeous. I mean, look at it. She's literally ripped right out of the comics. Right out of the comics. How big the hair is, how bouncy, beautiful, curly. It just, all of it is just, God, it's breathtaking. It's so beautiful. The paint apps for this entire figure are also so well done. This actually, the torso is cast in this purpley, pinkish color. It's more purple, but you know what I mean. I also want Hulk to have, I literally just want them to take these colors that Jen has, put them on Hulk, because imagine Hulk with these color pants, this green. God, that would be, you'd at least have one sale, and that'd be from me. And I can't imagine that anyone else wouldn't agree with me on that. She's got the band. This looks, it's supposed to be 90s, but it looks very, 80s workout video outfit for her. And, that's Jen. That's one of Jen's classic looks. And it's just so beautifully translated onto here. You can't even tell, honestly, that, is this actually, oh, that's why. Her boots are separate pieces. So obviously, which we'll get into this later, but she has a boot swivel. This piece is separate from the boot itself. Same with the gauntlets. These are separate from her forearms. So those being in white, you don't really have to worry about those missing any paints. Everything's pretty much cast in the color that it's in. The only real paint that there is the white belt type thing across her unitard type thing, and then the green up on her chest and neck because it's cast in that purplish color. And then obviously, the head and everything like that. But for the body itself, and that's kind of crazy. I'm looking at the back here. You can kind of see, we'll lift her head up a little bit so you can see up there. Her head is, it doesn't get in the way as much as you'd think either, which we'll talk about that more when we get to articulation. But Ah, man, this is just so beautiful. The only downfall visually that this figure has, and it's only something that you can really tell under studio lights, and you can kind of see it right now, is her knees and her elbows. The plastic that they used created a different color, I guess, because maybe it's more of a harder plastic since it needs to be the connector joints themselves. And now taking a look at Jen's articulation, her head is on the newer, type of dumbbell joint up here, which it makes sense because, we'll get into the range because of her hair and everything. But I'm definitely going to cut out a little bit of this to give her more downward movement because that's the biggest area of articulation that can sort of improve. I mean, they even added a little bit of detail up into her hair, like where you couldn't even see it either, which is really nice. I do appreciate that. So thank you for that, Hasbro. But because of that joint, you can get a little bit down. That's what I'm saying. Like it'll be a very simple mod to just make her able to look down a little bit more so you can have her look down on people, because she's pretty tall, which we'll get to. Her head can't go back up, it can't go far at all, but because of her torso, you can get her to look up a little bit, so it's not like abnormal to be like, oh, she looks really weird looking up with just her torso, but it actually kind of works because you get a little bit of upward movement, but just not a lot. She has a lot more rotation than you would think, so she can actually look to the sides here, and it's not super awkward looking either. So that's pretty cool. Her shoulders go out that far, rotate all the way around, but her arm does run into her hair right here, coming up on her shoulder. She has bicep swivel, double jointed pinless elbows, which go up all the way. Both sets of hands, which we already talked about, go back and forth for the hinge and then, of course, rotate. As for her torso, she has the tried and true female articulation, so she can only go about that far forward, which is not the best. Can go back that far. Her hair does run into her belt a little bit, so maybe be careful. You don't want it to scrape the paint. Her hair is not super pliable, but you never know. It could end up scraping that paint off of there. Tilt, rotation. It would have been nice if they would have given Jen the, deluxe articulation, or, at least in the torso area, because she doesn't really... I feel like with the size of this, they couldn't have given her butterfly joints, and it really worked, but I think they could have given her an ab crunch. I think that would have been really cool if they had done that. Because it's, it's She-Hulk. They could have done that. I get why they didn't, for cutting costs and for probably, their standards of the things that they have to be able to do. But it just would have been so cool. As for her legs, they can go that far forward and that far back, so she can easily kick somebody in the mid-chest if you wanted. Her legs go out almost all the way, so you can really get those 80s workout videos going on right here, which is really cool. She has a thigh swivel, double-jointed pinless knees, which go up all the way, almost all the way. You could probably finagle it a little bit more. She has, like we talked about earlier, boot swivel, which is really cool. Her feet can go that far forward, that far back, and, of course, ankle pivot. And now onto some size comparisons. Here she is next to the Daredevil from technically the same universe, because this is the VHS Daredevil that's part of the 90s animated Spider-Man series, and then the She-Hulk is part of the 90s Iron Man series wave. So technically speaking, they're in the same universe because of X-Men 97 and then also some crossovers from back in the day as well. So that's pretty cool. And then with her fellow wave mate, the Model 20 Iron Man. And I did, by the way, do what I was telling you guys about. I did make it so the shoulders were just attached using one of those shoulder cup things instead. So if you guys want to see a video on that, I will make a video on how I upgraded that figure. But I think this looks really good. Iron Man, Daredevil, because he's on this body, a little short, but I think it looks great. And she also, which I'm going to show you guys this here in a second, she can carry him and carry him perfectly. As I was saying, she can carry Matt, no problem, which I love that. So she can carry any one of your figures. You got to pose her right because, otherwise she's holding a whole nother figure, so she'll be a little top heavy here. But look at that. And it looks so well, too. You can have her looking at Matt and everything. Oh, it just looks so awesome. I love that. And then here she is next to the 20th anniversary Hulk, which I did modify the shoulders to give him actual butterfly joints. And then I did raise the head up a little bit, so he is a little taller than the stock version of it. But I love the way these two look together. I really, really want a classic Hulk with this She-Hulk color scheme. I think that would just be so awesome if they ended up doing that, which I think they will. I can't imagine they wouldn't. We haven't gotten a Hulk in a couple years because the last time we got it like a solid, just normal Hulk was from this figure. And then here she is with the Fantastic Four, and I love this. I love everything that has to do with the Fantastic Four, because you guys know me. I am super fan of the Fantastic Four. Love them. I loved when Jen is part of the team. I love when she crosses over with them. It's so awesome to see some of my favorites together like this. And I can't wait for them to make a Fantastic Four She-Hulk. And I really cannot wait for them to give us a new set of Fantastic Four figures, because like Ben is perfect. I don't know what they could do honestly to improve this figure. I don't think they could do anything unless they figured out a way to give him like butterfly joints. That would be really cool actually. But I can't wait for them to give us a updated pinless double jointed versions of all of them. And I think Sue deserves, you know, she's Marvel's first lady essentially. She deserves the Black Widow articulation. So I know that she's not super articulated, I guess, like in the sense of the things that she does usually in the comics, but I would like for us to have something like that, because I think that would be really cool for her. Overall, if you can't tell, I absolutely freaking love this Jennifer Walters. I love She-Hulk. I have been a huge fan of She-Hulk since I was a little kid. This is the She-Hulk figure that I've wanted since I was a little kid. I could not be happier with it. I do wish that she had an ab crunch, because, you know, of course, that just would be awesome for all the female figures to have that level of articulation. But, you know, we're used to not seeing that. So the body itself, great. It is a wonderful figure. But that head sculpt is, honestly, to me, probably the best head sculpt that Hasbro's ever done. I don't think there's any other head sculpt that they've done that I've looked at and been like, oh, yeah, okay, that's ripped right out of the comics. There is not even a single blemish on it. It is just the epitome of perfection. There is nothing that they could possibly do to make that any better than it is. So, yeah, that's going to do it for me, and I will catch you all in the next one. See ya.